This thing is going to go up $37 in the, I mean, it could. Look, it went up $18 today. Holy smokes, there it is. Big jump. $21 so far today. Could it do it? Maybe. What's happening, YouTube? This is Mike. I am Mike, and I'm here to talk to you today about MSTY. MSTY is quickly gaining as one of my most favorite ETFs out there. What a juggernaut. It's just crushing the world and leaving nobody behind. So MSTY just paid out a distribution for most people last Friday. I got mine yesterday on a Sunday where I couldn't do anything with it. And so, effectively I got it today. So let's discuss Misty. Let's take a look at his weekly calls. We're going to take a look at the distribution that I received. We're also going to see how I use that distribution and what are my forward plans here. We're going to go over that too. So first things first, let's dip into yieldmax's website. We're going to take a look here under our ETFs, and then right there, Misty. And then this is the page that opens. I've scrolled down quite a bit here. First thing I want to take a look at is its net assets here. What an absolute beast of an ETF. $788.56 million in net assets right now. Quickly gaining every single week here on the number one ETF over at yieldmax, which is NVIDIA. But yeah, $788 to play with there for the fund managers at yieldmax. So they've gone ahead and created some weekly calls here, and I wanted to go over those with you today for those that didn't get to see this on your own. So first things first, we have a synthetic option of $195. This closes in 18 days. And so the goal is for MicroStrategies or MSTR to be above this price here, 195, and I'll zoom into it a little bit there for you so you can see it better. So 195. And today, MicroStrategies has had another absolute beast of a day, to say the least, up 8% so far. $253 right now, so that's looking pretty darn good and juicy. That's going to pay. That's going to pay. That's for sure. So, MicroStrategies has earnings coming up. It's reported on Google as coming up on the 30th, which is 2 days from today. We'll see how it does. I went and looked at previous earnings, and there was the EPS, and it missed the EPS in many of the earnings before. So we'll see how they do this time. Yeah, MicroStrategies just cooking here. And I haven't actually looked at Bitcoin's price. We'll look at that today as well. But generally when Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategies goes up as well. So, it's kind of safe to say that Bitcoin should be going up here as well. Yeah, there's the 195 synthetic. Now, the Misty fund managers can close this anytime to lock in that profit. They have closed it early before to lock in profit. The payday for MicroStrategy isn't for another 4 weeks, give or take a couple days here. Yeah, they can lock in that profit anytime they want to. The longer it goes closer to that November 15th, the more money they'll make as long as this stays up, because then they won't have to pay money to close it, or close it early, I should say. So that's good. Let's take a look at the weeklies. Remember, MicroStrategies right now is at $253. This is at 3 o'clock Eastern on Monday afternoon. So 253. My goodness. All right. Well, let's take a gander at this here. So we do have a very small position, 990 shares here, or 999 said shares. So at $250. So that one's already in the money. Now, when I say it's already in the money, so MicroStrategies is $5 more than this right now. So if the fund managers let this run ride till Friday, they're most likely going to have to close this option and pay money to do that. Last week, the same thing happened. I think they paid $22 a share for one of the smaller ones here, which is that's just insane. That's insane. Maybe not $22 a share. Maybe it was a $22 an option, but That's insane. That's a lot of money that they're paying out. So I get that we want to make money on the yield max by yielding max, and but I don't think lessons have been learned here by the fund managers. This happens every single week on all of their funds, that they go 5% out, 10% out. 10% is good, but 5% out, and then the underlying skyrockets, right? We're kind of getting into that Santa rally era right now, the Bitcoin rally era. And so, yep, we're making a ton of money when we create the option here, but then we're losing money when we have to close the option. Now, lucky for us, this is only 990 of those positions. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, I mean, it's a good little dip in the toe, I guess, if you will. The next one, they have scattered them. The next one's $255. Now, they didn't do it in order. Also, they didn't put November 1st in here. They just said November. So I went looking for November 24th. That's like a Wednesday or something. So it's a Thursday. So yeah, it's November 1st for this one as well. 255. You know, if we look at MicroStrategy right now, 253. So we're getting close. Would it make sense to close that right now? I think they just opened it on Friday or even this morning, but I think Friday they opened it. Would it make sense to close it right now? They wouldn't make much money, but if they closed it right now, maybe they could rewrite these options a little higher so we don't lose any money. Might be a good idea, but who am I, right? Who am I? Nobody. I'm a nobody. So 255. And then the other, I mean, that's a big position right there, 15,895. And then the biggest one is a little higher, $260. Got a little bit of room to run here. And that's 16,745 shares there, which is like, that's a lot for sure. Now, they've also written credit call spreads, but they made them so high that it's like, it's almost not imaginable that Mr. can get that high. So anything that doesn't have the minus next to it here is going to be your credit call spread. So we got two of them, 290 and 295. So what they're saying is if Mr. can get to 290 and 295, it'll trigger these credit call spreads. Yeah. So, I mean, that's, let's take a moment here. That's this week, right? 290. They're thinking this thing is going to go up $37 in the, I mean, it could. Look, it went up $18 today. Holy smokes, there it is. Big jump. $21 so far today. Could it do it? Maybe. But what are we doing about these calls, right? What are we doing about these calls right now? You just saw that happen live. It went up $2 right in front of us there. What are we doing about this 255, this 250? Are we just letting those ride and then going to have to pay the big money to close those? Is that what's going to happen? Because if it was my money, I would be all over this right now and then rewriting my calls for a higher strike price. That's what I would be doing personally. But, you know, we pay these guys to make the big decisions. We'll see what happens whenever they make that big decision or if they don't. But I'm excited for the ride. I am grateful. Let me tell you, I am grateful about the previous distribution I got. It's pretty phenomenal. In fact, I'll kind of skip a couple tabs here and go over to my passive account. Yeah, like I said, it got put into my account today. Well, yesterday. It ended up being $700. Let me scroll down a little bit so you can see that $759. Now that's Canadian, and that's after tax. So I already had the tax automatically removed for me. Thank you very much. And so $759. You know, if you look at the month before, it was 164, 160, 121, and then that was the first month right there, $25. So I'm definitely happy. So far, MSTY has paid me $1,230 in distributions. So I'm definitely happy about that. That's only, what, 5 months? But I mean, that month was $25. So 5 months of distributions, $1,230. Looking pretty good. Let's take a look at my trading account. I did make a little move today on my trading account. I had 2 shares in a ETF called hmax.to here in Canada. That's the bank ETF. And it wasn't really paying much, and I had made a couple of bucks on the share price, which is huge for that. Just so we know, that's a it's a big increase. So good job, hmax.to, people over at Hamilton fund. But yeah, I sold those 2 shares and I ended up just buying 1 more share of Coney. So I've got 3 now. My average price of Coney is $16. The symbol price right now is $14.21. It's not a big position at all. My 2 biggest positions is going to be Nvidia. And let me move my face out of the way here so you can see that a little bit better. There's that Nvidia. 57% of my portfolio is in Nvidia. My average share price is $28.71. The current price $26.21. But I've been pretty happy with the Nvidia payout here. If we go down, this is the bar that shows over the last 1 year here, 35.84 in distributions. Now, again, that's Canadian. So, I mean, what's that? That's probably like 2,900 US I've made so far from Nvidia. What have I done with that money? I've taken it, I've put it into MSTY. I've taken it, I bought those 3 shares of Coney. Not that that's much at all, but this money here is going to be building that MSTY fund and also building that now Coney fund. So I've been talking about building 6 pillars of income, $500 per pillar. Well, if I take a look at this, and that's Canadian, by the way, if I take a look at this graph here, this past month, made $390 on Nvidia and $759 on MSTY. Sorry, again, let me move that. Put that up there again for you. $390 in Nvidia, $759 in MSTY. So I'm thinking of strategies here, and I'm thinking of X dividend dates. So what I ended up doing was taking cash from my bank account, and I bought 20 shares of MSTY on the X dividend date. So I was at 153. I took the equivalent of what I was about to get, and I bought 20 shares of MSTY. So I bought that down around 26.20, and I think it was a really, really great move. Now, what did I do with today's distribution I got? I just withdrew it. I'm going to put it right back into that account, and I'm going to do the same thing next month, and buy on the X dividend date for all of these. I'm thinking of a cycle, though, of these 3 funds. I don't have anything in Group A, but, Nvidia here is going to be Group B. Coney is Group C, and MSTY is Group D. So what I'm thinking about this month only is taking my Nvidia money, putting it into Coney, putting my MSTY, putting it into Coney, and then going forward next month, only buying one of those 3 on the X dividend date. That's my thought process on that, and build up all 3 of these funds so that I can get that $500 a month per on each of those. So I think that's the plan, Stan. I just wanted to share with you, like, the distribution came out on Friday. Check out this MSTY price, right? On Friday, the price was around $26.70, and now a day and 3/4 in, we're already up to $29.45. So when people say NAV erosion, that sort of thing, and I'm with you. If you've seen some of my other videos, I am negative sometimes about that NAV, but on these beasts like Nvidia and MSTY, so far, so good. And how do we get so far, so good? Well, you have to have a really good, steady underlying stock like Nvidia or MicroStrategies, which is just rocking and rolling. Oof, it is rocking and rolling, isn't it? So having that there really helps with that NAV. Companies like Tesla, it spikes and then it drops. It spikes and it drops, and it doesn't really pan out well for the strategy of yieldmax. And that's why I'm not in Tesla anymore. I like Tesla as a company. I think it is the company of the future. That robot, what did Elon say? It's going to be the greatest product in the history of the world. I agree. I think it's going to be insane, but it doesn't pay well, or doesn't play well for the Tesla fund because of its extreme spikes up and down. Whereas if you take a look at MicroStrategy here, I mean, it's getting kind of close to that same thing, isn't it? But if you look at MicroStrategy here, it's not so spiky like Tesla. Like what last week, right? Tesla went up $25 in one day. and then, went from there. I mean, look at today. This isn't playing well, just so we know. This is not playing well with what the fund managers have set up for us. Again, we've got two funds here. Let's take a look. We got 250 and 255 sitting right there. This is a huge position, right? So today, yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome. But that doesn't play well to the strategy, okay? Where it would have played better is if we had that credit call spread closer, right? $290 is way, way, way off in the distance. I hope we get there. I think that would be so awesome if we got there. But I am concerned about this call right here and the $250 call as well. How do you think this plays out? By the way, if you're still here, thank you so much. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before December 25th. We're well on our way. I already have 1,600 trusted true fan subscribers here. So if you're a true fan, hit that subscribe and like button for me. I appreciate that. I'm really happy that I get to share my portfolio with you. Now, just so everybody's on the same page, this is not my only portfolio. I also have mutual funds and RRSPs as well. This is kind of like the cash that I get to kind of throw out there and try and build it. But I am pretty happy with MSTY. I'm very happy with NVIDIA and how they're performing. And but this account is, how do I want to say that? This account is, it's not static. If I'm not happy with how things are going to go, I'm going to change it, right? And so this is something I pay attention to every single day. I think you should do the same. What's a move that you've made that, you weren't too happy about something and you made that change? For me, it was Tesla. I had just about 900 shares of Tesla, and I wasn't happy about the reverse split. And so I moved my shares out of there. Some of you might be in Alti and getting a little nervous about that too. I'm with you. I hear you on that for sure. So yeah, let us know what you've done, how many shares you have, what you're looking to do, what's your goal. And one last thing I wanted to talk about before I get going here is I'd like to retire yesterday if I could, but I can't go back in time, right? What I can do is work for the future year. My goal is to get enough income coming in that pays me $200 a day, 20 days a week. Okay? 20 days a week. Whoa, what kind of week is that? 20 days a month. So that's, $4,000 a month. Now, my only problem is if I take $4,000, if I make $4,000 from yieldmax and I take $4,000, then I'm going to have some decay in my shares, my price, things like that. So I actually need more than $200 a day. I'm thinking like $500 a day. And then I can take, what's that? 2/3, roughly out of my account and live off that. The rest gets reinvested back in. We're continuing with the same distribution every single month, or maybe slightly better. That would be great. But yeah, my minimum target is $4,000 a month in income. And then, if I got to that $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 mark, I think I could probably retire comfortably and be happy about it. What about you? What's your number? Do you have a number? Have you thought about a number? Let us know in the comments. Again, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit the like. Check out my memberships, everybody. They're available. And I'm really excited to be able to share other options with you if you want to support my channel. But I just wanted to quickly stop in, say hi, keep this video under 20 minutes, and hopefully you guys had a great Monday and an even better weekend. My name is Mike. This right here is Health and Wealth. Thanks for tuning in.